Good morning. I want to talk about coloring books and prayers. When we lived in Nashville, Tennessee, I was 3 years old. My father pastored a church in the suburb of Woodbine. One Sunday night, I was sitting near the back with my mother. On the other side of us sat a cute and prim and proper little girl named Kay. Kay pulled out her neat coloring book and fresh, unused crayons and began coloring. I asked if I could join in, and after a bit of begging, she allowed me one page. I began coloring in earnest. After a few minutes, Kay looked over at my masterpiece and shrieked, "You've ruined my coloring book! You colored outside all the lines and it's ugly!" And with that, she jerked the book out of my hands, folded her arms, and gave me the death glare. It marked me for life. I may have to go for counseling someday. Maybe, perhaps. But alas, I found my salvation in this. A little child cannot do a bad coloring, nor can a child of God do a bad prayer. Brennan Manning. Look on any refrigerator door in any home where you have small children, you will immediately see what I mean. There are just no bad crayon paintings to be found. And now, how about prayers? Here are some lighthearted prayers. Dear God, I went to a wedding Saturday and they were kissing right there in church. Is that okay? Dear God, thanks for my baby brother, but I was really hoping for a goldfish. And dear God, if you're in church on Sunday, I'll show you my new socks. They're cool. Well, these are cute prayers. They're funny. They're real. But what about our adult prayers? Do the words really matter all that much? To get back to our opening quote, I think it is the intent of the heart that rises above all else. I'm not eloquent in most of my prayers. I have a southern accent. I don't roll my R's. And I sometimes have trouble with some words like vulnerable. And sometimes I'm not dressed up when I pray. Sometimes I pray in my undies. What is this world coming to? Well, consider this. Prayer is taking a chance that against all odds and past history, we are loved and chosen and do not have to get it together before we show up. I certainly don't have it all together. Sometimes I can't even find where I put it. So, how can I get it all together? Here's another. Prayer means that in some unique way, we believe we're invited into a relationship with someone who hears us when we speak in silence. Man, I love that idea. We are invited into a relationship with a God who hears us, even in our silence. Praying is not just about words, you see. It is a mind thing and a heart thing, too. In my years of living, I've heard hundreds of prayers. I've heard Billy Graham pray and hundreds of other giants in the religious world. My prayers don't come anywhere near theirs, and my prayers are still heard, and so are yours. And Lamont says, sometimes the best prayer is simply help. You and I can pray that one. Help, God. In 1 John 5:14, we read this. This is the confidence we have in approaching God, that if we ask anything according to his will, he hears us. And in Luke 18:13, but the tax collector stood at a distance and dared not even lift his eyes to heaven as he prayed. Instead, he beat his chest in sorrow, saying, "O God, be merciful to me, for I am a sinner." And his prayer was heard. Regardless of the words you may say, the intent of your heart is heard even more by God. God hears, God cares, and God is with you. Be encouraged today.